Here we are. Today. He doesn't look like shit.
He doesn't.
You don't at all look like shit.
No.
You never look like shit. Hey everybody, it's Karen and Steven, and today we thought that we might start with a interesting little perspective on the 30th of this month, which is our next Meeting the Point Philosophy group discussion, where we will be discussing the merits of separating the artist from the art, which would be kind of interesting. And today I wanted to talk a little bit, get your perspective, because we haven't really talked about this yet, of the senatorial race in Maine, in which we have, what's his name, Platner.
Platner.
Yeah, and whether or not you think that any of the accusations against him are disqualifying, and if they are, why? And why are they not disqualifying for everybody else, particularly on the Republican side? And if not that, then what are the limits to what we should expect in terms of character when it comes to our elected officials?
That would seem to be an easily answered question.
It's not, though.
It's not, but it almost seems like it should be. No, that's a good, that's a very good, good thing. I think that, I would never vote for him. I mean.
Well, he's a Democrat, so.
No. He could be whatever.
Okay, so it's just, comma. Let's unpack that first.
Come on.
Like just, comma, we'll get back to whatever the next thing was you're about to say, but let's just unpack the, I would never vote for him to start with. Why not?
I do believe in redemption. If he were running, if he were running or applying to almost any other type of job other than politics, I might say yes to it. But I'm just about completely jaded about politics and politicians. And while I do believe in redemption, okay, you're going to be redeemed from your sexual malapropos or whatever, and you're going to segue from that and be redeemed in politics. No, I don't. To me, it's almost impossible for a person to these days, not, it hasn't always been the case at all. These days, almost impossible to keep one's moral character and be a politician. So I don't, no. What he's done with regard to his wife and other women, that's pretty disqualifying in my book.
Okay, so, but here's what I understand, and he's denied all these accusations, by the way. So, I mean, all the things that that Republicans dug up about statements from his ex-girlfriends who said that he was aggressive. They didn't say he was violent, they didn't say any of that, but they said that he was aggressive, overly aggressive. He flatly denies all of that. And the sexually explicit texts that that he sent to women who weren't his wife are like a number of years ago, and he has explained that as, when he came back from his tour of duty, that he was suffering from PTSD, and that he's got help for all of that, and that he and his wife are happy and they're committed to each other, and his wife says the same thing. So I mean, he's a kind of a salt of the earth guy in every other respect. I mean, he's an oyster farmer, he's a veteran, a combat veteran. I mean, anybody else looking at just those qualities would say, yeah, this guy's a perfect candidate. So he has these other two little things, and the tattoo, which, I mean, I don't know, I have to tell you, I'm pretty savvy about this shit, and I looked at the tattoo and I, under no circumstances, thought in any way that that was a Nazi tattoo or associated with Nazism at all. So, and as soon as he discovered that people thought, or that it was in some way, he had it covered.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. I have to tell you, in terms of egregious bad behavior, I don't think this guy is so guilty of it. You know, and you know, for me, as coming from the perspective of a woman who's generally, you know, pissed off and angry about the way that men treat women, I think that he has behaved in such a fashion as to, you know, not hide from it, not call the women liars, not be on the attack, not double down. He hasn't done any of those things. All the shit that Donald Trump has done continuously in his horrific and court adjudicated abuse of women, he hasn't done any of that. So I don't know. He's an imperfect person, as we all are. But I think that the things, I mean, this is one of these things for me, is that we are all a bunch of things. We're not just one thing. If anybody took one stupid thing that I did in my 20s and held that up as a judge of my character, you know, now in my 60s, I mean, I would think that that was pretty unfair. And I would think that that was enormously inaccurate.
I couldn't agree more, and I would say the same thing about myself. I'd hate to be judged on one or several hundred things that I've done and make that the object of attention on me. I'll admit, I've said it already,
It's
but
really windy. I have to just look at the book. Keep talking. I can hear you.
I'll admit again very clearly that I'm very jaded by politics. I think I forget. On some TV, I don't know if it was a Sunday morning show or PBS NewsHour or what, but several people debated this very same thing. You know, what's the expression? Letting the perfect be the enemy of the good. Is that
Right.
correct?
That's right.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot to be said for that. Maybe I'm being too idealistic here. I realize that first of all, the Democrats, F them, you know, as well as F the Republicans. They don't care if the man's skin.
You know, you can say fuck on this.
I know.
It's our
house,
podcast.
Yeah, I know.
And it's our podcast. We're allowed to say whatever
The
fuck
Democrats wouldn't
we
care
want.
if he skinned baby cats alive.
I don't.
at
That's
home.
not. Oh, come on. How can you say that?
Oh my
How
God.
can you say that?
The
Oh my God.
The
They
Democrats
eat
are
their
only
young.
concerned. The Democrats are only concerned with getting back the Senate and the House. That's all they're concerned with.
I don't
I
think
mean-
that that's true, but
Well,
you know,
I-
let's absolutely be clear that the Democrats are, you know, pearl clutchers in the PhD level. And if so, I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking about fucking poor Al Franken, a comedian who had a stupid comedic photograph taken with another comedian, and he lost his seat as a result of that. He had to resign. So don't talk to me about, you know, the Democrats are not absolutely embracing of, you know, perfection being the enemy of the good, because they eat their own fucking young all of the time.
Al Franken was some years ago. I mean,
It was some
not
years
eons
ago.
but some years ago.
Well, and they've pretty much been, squeaky clean since then. I mean, my God, they're having to deal slings and arrows with James Tallarico in, in Texas because, he's not masculine enough. So fuck this bullshit. This is just such a double standard that I have to tell you. And, I don't hate Susan Collins, but she's a Trump asshole licker too. You know what I mean? She really is. And she breaks with the party like 3% of the time or 5% of the time, whatever it is. But she's right in lockstep with all of the rest of this shit most of the time. So she needs to go. She needs to go. She has been complicit in everything that this administration has done to try and destroy this country in terms of making it the way that they need it to be, which is a white Christian nationalist, male dominant society where more than half of the population does not have the rights that they currently enjoy or that they did enjoy like 5 years ago. So, to me, that's disqualifying. And if this guy, was horny, who the hell wasn't horny in their 20s and 30s and 40s? I mean, my God, who the hell wasn't? I was. So, and sometimes when you're horny, and I'm just going to say particularly men, they do tend to make bad decisions when they're thinking with the little head, or the smaller head, I should say. But to me, the sexual stuff, particularly when you're mixing it with politics, sexuality and power, when it comes to men, those things are really, really intricately linked with the functions of testosterone in the body. So it's not a big surprise to me, it's not an enormous stretch that men who get involved in politics sometimes get stepping over the limit of their sexual prowess and their understanding of their sexual viability, their sexual desirability, So, I mean, is it bad behavior? Yeah, of course it's fucking bad behavior. Is it forgivable? I think it's a lot more forgivable than, voting in favor of like the stupid, bloated bill or whatever the fuck they called it, or not wanting to remove a clearly insurrectionist president from his fucking office and keeping him from running ever again. So I mean, for me, if these are the choices, and not choosing is also a choice, which is to me worse than choosing one or the other. I would choose the Democrat 1,000% of the time, I have to tell you. And I know Susan Collins is considered to be one of the most centrist of what's left of the Republican Party, but it doesn't change the fact that she still votes the party line the vast, vast majority of the time.
I will admit that if I were anyone other than myself, I would probably cave to your arguments. But I'm me, and I'm not going to cave to them. I think I don't like Platner. I just don't like him.
I probably wouldn't want to have a beer with him, at a bar.
But I think that he unfortunately has chosen an unfortunate time to run for office, in a sense. Again, despite your mildly emphatic protestations, I still go with the cat skinning incident. The Democrats that sell their grandmothers to the Arabs, the wolves, or whoever to win the goddamn Senate and House. In a sense, I don't blame them. But I
Well,
think,
I mean, if you want to say that, and I don't agree with that because I see no evidence of that. I see absolutely no evidence. In fact, I see evidence exactly the opposite. That's why they're, clutching their pearls all about, this, what is it, Graham Platner. It's like, oh, well, should we endorse him? Shouldn't we endorse him? How should we say this? We don't want to step in too strongly and endorse him. We don't want to. The Republicans would not think twice about what is your fucking problem. You have a problem with this guy? He didn't do anything wrong. He is the best thing. He's a patriot. He's a veteran. He's a oyster farmer. He's a man of the earth. And the Republicans would not hesitate to double, triple, quadruple down on that and just attack. So, to compare the Democrats in any way, being like even dipping a toe in that river is nonsense. They are not doing that. They're already, sitting on the toilet with the shits about the fact that they nominated this guy, despite the fact that he's very popular in Maine, and supposedly you should let the people of the state make the decision of who it is that they want to run to be their representative. And he won the primary in a landslide. So the people of Maine don't have a problem with it.
why should I?
Why should you?
Why should you? Well, let me just say, first of all, as an aside, and being from Louisiana and loving oysters and loving oyster fishermen, I guess, I am not in any way putting down oyster fishermen, but I just find it hysterical that being an oyster fisherman has come close to being if you can't do the Messiah, be an oyster fisherman, for God's sake,
Well,
I think that's hysterical.
It's not that he's an oyster fisherman. Yeah. It's that he's a farmer.
Yeah, whatever.
He's a farmer. He tills or he works the land, the shores, the whatever.
But they don't talk about that. They don't talk about oyster fishermen, and I just think that just hits a funny bone in me, and it's certainly not determinative for me. I hope of whether I vote for him or not. I just find it funny that, oh my God, we have an oyster fisherman. We're going to fucking elect this guy,
I don't think that anybody's saying that. I mean, I'm not hearing anybody saying that.
Oh, no, nobody's saying that. Because
I think that everybody is talking about the fact that this guy is imperfect. That's what I'm hearing. I'm not hearing everybody say, no, he's an oyster fisherman. I mean, they say that, but that's in means of, it's like he's like Joe the plumber. Remember that guy?
Oh yes.
It's like this is a guy who does something that should be relatable to the human people in the United States. He's relatable in that he does something that you can understand. He's not a fucking hedge fund manager. He's not a fucking cryptocurrency executive. He's not a freaking insurance executive or any of this stuff.
But if you spoke to Democrats in New York City, they would, I think most of them would identify more with a hedge fund operator than an oyster fisherman,
Why do you say that?
Because I don't think that there are many. First of all, I watch all of the TV programs that are situated in New York, so I have I have great authority on which to base this. No, that's foolishness. I admit. But I just had to throw that in.
Those people in northern New York, I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell they know.
No, I said New York City. I said New York City.
Okay.
No, I did say New York City, the northern part and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
But they just elected for their mayor, basically a community organizer who's Muslim.
Don't get me started on him.
Super progressive. And is actually in the process of switching up the budget of the largest city in the country in such a fashion so as to provide services for the people of New York with their tax dollars. So now in the city of New York, people pay taxes and they're actually getting something back for it. Isn't that novel? Who thought? I thought that we were paying taxes to the king or somebody.
Makes my
'Cause
day. Makes my day.
It's like we're not getting shit for it.
Yeah, Mayor Mamdani is a subject for another day for me. Anyway, wouldn't vote for him either. But
Oh my God, I would vote for him twice.
oh,
I would vote for him. I would take your vote and vote for him.
that's cool. But Susan Collins, God forbid that I should ever defend her in a sense, but I'm going to. I have no problem with her getting reelected, none whatsoever, because although she may be what you said, the ass licker as much as anyone else, I think, and this is by way, believe it or not, of helping the Democrats, that you're going to have a certain number of Republicans in the Senate, majority, minority, whatever. You can have a certain number. She and what's her sister from Alaska?
Murkowski.
I love her.
Yeah,
Murkowski.
she's different, but she's also, I mean, she's done some pretty shitty things too. Most recently, voting for the big stupid fucking bill.
Yes. No.
Because they gave the state of Alaska some temporary bauble.
Yeah.
And so she sold the whole fucking country down the river for that.
To quote St. Paul, all have sinned and have need of God's glory. We all sinned. Republicans, Democrats, who the fuck ever said fuck.
Good.
So, but anyway, I think it's good to keep. If it were anybody else, but given who she's running against, I don't know if I'd vote for her, but I might encourage others to vote for her because it keeps a couple, just a couple, her and Murkowski and what's his name, who's leaving, unfortunately.
Yeah, all the really reasonable Republicans are all
yeah,
leaving
right.
except for these two.
Yeah,
That's basically.
but they remain as these little worms that are gnawing through the Republican whatever. So I have no problem re-electing Susan Collins at all.
See, here's my thing. Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't finished.
I said earlier that I'm probably being too idealistic about this. And I'm sure that if I were in any way, shape, or form involved in retaking the House of the Democrats, I sure as hell would not be idealistic. At least not to the extent that I think I'm being. I mean, it depends on, it depends on how bad a guy you think this guy is or isn't. But if you think that he's bad enough, then I'd say, are we going to, how long are we going to settle for the lesser of two evils? Or two or three or four or five or six evils? And will there come a time, and when will that time come, when we really make a very big deal of nominating and electing people whom, from our own lights, that we consider to be moral people. And again, I realize that's big idealism, but I'm not going to back down from that. I feel it very strongly. If it means losing the Senate, it means losing the Senate. But again, maybe we're at a point now where we cannot afford to be idealistic. Maybe, oh God, there's a great analogy coming into my head, but it's not going to make it through to my mouth. I know it's not. No, it's gone. It's lost. But I think that at some point, if and that includes Republicans and Democrats and independents, whoever, if we don't stop settling for the lesser of 2 or 3 or 4 evils, it's a hell of a country we got to look forward to.
Well, that's why we're in the position that we're in now. Because you have one party, and I know you're going to argue about this, but we have one party that cares at least a modicum of, character in their candidates, and one party who doesn't give a fuck. Like, who literally, you've got the guy at the top of the fucking pyramid is a criminal, a convicted criminal, and has yet to actually see court time on the really bad stuff that he's done that we know about. And he's out there whole-throatedly promoting also criminals, racists, fucking sexual assaulters. Has no problem with them. His cabinet is full of them. So, I mean, you've got one party who's clutching their pearls about somebody, writing some inappropriate text messages years ago. And then you've got the other party who doesn't give a fuck about character at all. And in fact, if you're a bad son of a bitch, not only are you likely to get a pardon for any criminal convictions that you had, but you're likely going to get like a cabinet position. Or maybe something else, right? The point being is that these two things they're not playing on the same field. And, the one has the ball right now. And they don't have to give it up because they're not playing by the rules. So they're just saying, nope, we win, and any points that the other team scores, those are fraudulent. Yep. Those didn't happen, they were cheating.
Right.
And this is what we're talking about right now. It's just absolutely insane. It's absurd. I feel every morning like I get up and I took fucking crazy pills. Oh my God. Did you hear any part of the president's, fucking Donald Trump's press conference today?
Some.
Oh my God.
Some.
It was, and I try really hard not to listen to him, not to just tune out every time that he's on the media. So I tuned in briefly today because I was looking for some other bit of news, and his press conference came on, and I'm going to tell you, I listened for about 10 minutes. He's talking about the deal with Iran, and he's talking about the deal that Obama had with Iran and the JCPOA, and 100% of what he said was wrong, like just flat out not true. And not that he misspoke, not that he, no, he's just openly lying. He's telling people shit that is not true and that he knows is not, I hope he knows is not true, because if he thinks that this shit is real, then we've got a much bigger problem than we think we do. And I think we've got a huge problem, but it may be, fucking Republicans are famous for this. They did this with Reagan. He was completely boo-hoo for the last 2 years of his administration. Woodrow Wilson, same thing. So they want to talk about, the Democrats hid Joe Biden's, condition from everybody. And they did, and I'm pissed off with them about that. But they didn't do what the Republicans did with Reagan. And they didn't do what the Republicans are doing now with Trump. This guy has openly damaged this country's reputation around the globe for generations. He has emboldened Iran and all of their proxies. If you're an Israel fan, he's shit in Benjamin Netanyahu's nest as well, because he doesn't care about any of that stuff. No. All he cares about is his own grandiosity and filling his own pockets, and that's all. And he will switch sides if the wind blew a different direction and it made his hair look better.
Which could only happen. And Well, one thing we have to thank him for, really, I mean, he's trying to clear up the algae, in the pool, I mean, that to me, in the midst of war in Iran, war in the Ukraine, the fuck uppedness of the whole world, and even on PBS NewsHour, God love him, the algae in the reflecting pool. That's serious.
Well,
that's serious enough to get on the news.
Well,
Wow.
the point is that I should be delighted because the water in the reflecting pool is now my favorite shade. It's like bright, brilliant Kelly green. I should be delighted. It's like the fucking river in Chicago on St. Patrick's Day. You just like dye it all green. Why not? Seriously, a grade 9 science student would understand that painting a dark color in a shallow, wide-mouthed aperture, filling it with water and leaving it in the sun without shade.
In Washington, D.C. in the summer.
That's going to be like a petri dish. And it's not going to be long before it's going to be way worse shit growing in that than algae. I can tell you that much. I'm certain it's already just a fucking swamp of mosquitoes and all other disease-bearing, insects and such.
And the pictures of the Park Service people pouring hydrogen
peroxide in it. Which, by the way, isn't going to kill it either.
Oh my God, that's a Saturday Night Live episode if there ever was in the history of the world. It's just, I mean, how many, okay, good question. How many 5-gallon containers of hydrogen peroxide does it take to decontaminate the reflecting pool, We have reached this point,
And the thing is that all of this is costing your taxpayer dollars and my taxpayer dollars, and I am sick of this shit. And I don't have children of my own, but I can't understand how anybody is all right with the way that these insane spending, crazy fucking people are running up the deficit. And y'all are just letting them. You think that what they're doing is economically viable and smart, and that this economy is like the envy of the fucking world. What's wrong with you? You know what? You're stupid. They think you're stupid, and they treat you like you're stupid because they aren't stupid. They know you are.
I look forward to the day, it's probably not going to ever happen, but when the G7 becomes the G6, and the other 6 decide, you know what, U.S., you don't need bother sending a representative over this year.
I can guarantee you, if things don't get better, that will be next year. That will be next year.
I guess I don't really despair, but I almost despair of our ills being cured from within. And I'm not sure that they can be cured from without, but I'd love to see something like that G7, become the G6, no, that would be...
Well, I mean, it became the G7 from the G8.
Yeah.
There's no reason why the rest of them wouldn't be more than happy, because they're already building all of their trade deals around the United States to not include the United States. So it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest that if this shit continues another year and they don't get rid of this insane person and start cleaning up their fucking mess, that the rest of, the EU and the rest of the G7 is just going to say, you know what? Maybe don't come next year.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to have this conversation without you. Why don't you go fix your own house? and don't come here thinking that you have anything to say about what the rest of the world is doing, because you absolutely do not.
Find something else to gild in gold in the city of Washington, or something else to turn green, in Washington.
Find a new flavor of circuses and bread.
Did you hear James Carville's prediction?
I haven't yet. I love him though. I'm sure you loathe him.
No, actually, I love the hell out of him.
Oh, do you? Oh,
I love him.
Good Southern boy.
I love him because he's believe it or not, deep within the bowels of this conservative, there's a little bitty anarchist trying to get out. And anyway, his prediction is that Trump will voluntarily leave office by next Easter.
Yeah, I have heard him say that he feels that he'll leave office. I didn't hear that by next Easter.
Next Easter.
I wonder why he chose Easter.
I don't know. I don't know.
I've also heard, and this is a total conspiracy theory, which would be stupid, and the Republicans would be so stupid to do this, but that Vance would take over, and then Vance would run for re-election with Trump as his vice president, and then step down and Trump would get a third term. I've heard that too. That's bullshit conspiracy, like small-minded conspiracy theorists. I think that even at the lowest levels of the Republican Party, the honchos that run the thing would not allow that to happen. I mean, Peter Thiel has left the building. The Koch brothers are down to one, and they're not funding money into the Republican Party hardly at all now.
Really?
So they don't have, they're reliant on the billionaire class from the tech industry. And the tech industry isn't going to do shit fuck all if it isn't 100% about making them more powerful. They don't care about the tax breaks. No. They just want all the power to make all of the policy. So I don't know. That's a deal with the devil, I'd say. I mean, Republicans are dumb enough. Republicans in power right now are dumb enough to want to do that. But I don't know moving forward if that's going to be something that they're going to embrace.
Jumping forward, however many years, you mentioning the creatures in Silicon Valley, the AI creatures. Is there a Democrat or even a Republican or an independent who couldn't get elected probably in the near future who is going to be another Teddy Roosevelt, who will break up, do what Teddy did, break up Silicon Valley, break up the monopoly that they are trying to establish around the world.
As long as money is buying politicians in the United States, that can't happen. You need to get rid of the Citizens United decision. You need to pull that back and really strongly regulate elections like we have in Canada. Otherwise, that can't ever happen here. And it's going to be the golden rule, Them with the gold makes the rules.
I like that. So, Mr.
Palantir. No. I was thinking of Palantir as you were talking about the Democrats or the AI, tech bros, and I was thinking about the guys from Palantir. Anyway, Platner.
Platner, yeah.
I'd vote for him. I wouldn't hesitate.
I guess I wouldn't. I was this close to saying I could, and then I'd go outside and throw up for like a year. But
I wouldn't throw up. I would wish that they could have found somebody less flawed
That's what. Okay. That's-
in Maine to run instead of him. But he's a good candidate, other than these handful of things. If you listen to what he has to say, his policy platform is fucking spot on. It is.
If you're a raving liberal, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like if what you want is for your tax dollars to actually count for something for you rather than for the very most privileged among us. Yeah. If you care about, clean water and air and land, if you care about, making sure that there are regulations so that businesses do not sell you poison and saying that it's, manna from heaven, if you want to make sure that your kid's medication is affordable and not poison, this guy is all about regulations that make sense, to bringing back regulations that the Republicans have gotten rid of, and very, very quickly we're realizing why they were there in the first place. It's all about all of that.
Yeah. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, all you people listening throughout the world,
for our audience of 3 or 4, however you are.
3,000-4,000, let's get it.
There we go, yeah.
She's right, and I can find almost nothing in there to argue with.
But you still wouldn't vote for him. See, you are an ideological purist. You are.
Yes and no.
It stands in the way of your rationality.
Of my what?
Your rationality.
Oh my God.
Don't you think?
God. I'm not 100% purist. I'm not 100% purist.
But you just said that, this guy's policies would only appeal to a raving liberal, and you said it with the tone of voice that raving liberals are a bad thing. And then so I went through a litany of the things that he stands for, and you said, well, it's actually pretty good. I don't think that I disagree with any of that. So,
one could argue a certain amount of irrationality from that. I'll grant you that.
Definitely.
I'll grant you that. I'm never claiming to be 100% rational, and you can go back on all of our episodes. Never claimed that.
Mm-hmm. Same, by the way. I try hard to be rational, but same.
Rational is good, and it's important, it's necessary, but not all the time. Not all the time.
Give me an example of when it's preferable
okay.
to be, well, no,
Yeah.
not just
Preferable
just
to be,
okay, but preferable
to be irrational. Oh God, she loves to do this. She loves to do this and put me on the spot. I can't come up with one now. About which more later. That's my default crap out.
It's crap out.
Yeah, it is a crap out.
It's all good, but
Totally admit it. Yeah. But going back to him, I agree with you completely. The people in Maine have a right to nominate and elect anyone they want. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, and this guy skated in the primaries.
Yeah,
he won by
and
a landslide.
Louisianians have exercised that concept many times with regard to Huey Long and a few other people.
Our current governor.
Edwin Edwards, is he dead? God bless his soul or whatever.
He did.
Yeah.
He died last year, I think. Yeah.
I think he died. Yeah.
That's a guy whose coffin I hope they screwed down. Just to make sure.
Edwin, God, he had too much fun being governor. He really enjoyed it way too much. Way too much. Nobody should enjoy a job that much, especially at the public's expense. But back to Platner. I probably could not vote for him. Probably would not vote for him. I could see myself again voting for Susan. Even though she's a member of the true church and she's pro-abortion. Now that's a biggie for me.
She's not pro-abortion.
She's pro-abortion.
Nobody's pro-abortion.
Oh, I hate this.
She is pro-choice. pro-choice.
Let's
She is
give me
pro-choice. Nobody wants people to go and have abortions.
Dear Lord in heaven, distinction without a difference,
No. It's enormously different.
No.
Enormously
Anyway,
different.
I don't see it that way. Anyway, I probably could vote for her.
One-issue voter. This is the irrationality of it.
No,
It's a one-issue voting
I'm a
it.
two-issue voter.
What was the second one?
Ooh, I'm not going to tell you right now.
I bet you I can guess. Give me a minute.
Tune in later, folks. Because I ain't telling, just like I'm not telling my middle name, to anyone. It's the initial is W. But anyway, and my main reason for voting for her would be because I think it's important to keep these little subversives within the Republican Party, even though they're only subversive 1% of the time. It's better than nothing. And she's been.
That's the Republican Party's responsibility. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility as a voter is to put the person who I think is going to do the best job for the country and the state, not to try and keep, guardrails on a lawless fucking party. That's not my job.
I agree completely. But I would agree that only in a perfect world, in this hugely imperfect world that we're dealing with, I think those ideals have to be set aside sometime. And again, I'm the idealist, but sometimes they have to be set aside. And that just like again, I think the Democrats are doing. But that we don't get back into that. We've already relegated that to the ash bin of history, as they say, or whatever it's dustbin, not ash bin, dustbin. No, I don't. And I wasn't going to say this, and I can't very. I was going to say I'll deny it if anyone says it, but I can't very well deny it if I say it in front of you guys. I don't like the guy.
That's okay. Fucking Trump denies shit that he's on camera saying 100% of the time.
Yeah. No, I don't.
You don't like the guy?
I don't like the guy. I look at him and my gut reaction is I wouldn't trust you to shuck my oyster.
I trust him to shuck my oyster. But
and that is, by the way, there's no sexual connotations there.
Dude is not my type at all. At all. And I am not going to argue with you about that because I look at him and he's got a greasy, kind of affect to me as well. Like he looks. Yeah, I mean, he's not somebody that I would be attracted to go and speak to in a gathering. I wouldn't be. And you're right. He's got a somewhat skeezy affect to me. Now, I really try not to go on that because I know that that's books and covers and all of that shit.
You're right.
But again, and not to just keep bringing it back. I mean, and I know he's not an elected official, but you've got people like Stephen Miller who literally looks like fucking Nosferatu.
Yes.
And I mean, Donald Trump is just a homunculus. He is. I can barely think of anybody who is more revolting looking and least appealing in any kind of sexual way. I just can't even imagine.
Good God.
And this is one of these things, just to get back to, because the nature of the complaints about this guy are sexual in nature. You look at a guy like Trump, who's convicted of sexual abuse. Those are the actual words, the actual terms. And you look at a guy like Bill Clinton. Now, both of these guys are bad behaved, randy dogs that, should have been admonished for their behavior long before it got to the stages that it was. And certainly long before they got to the positions of power that they were in. But come on, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, one's completely fuckable to any warm-blooded person, male or female, the other is completely fucking not. You know, who's more likely to be a sexual assaulter?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine Clinton ever needing to do anything other than just the slightest bit of charm to manage somebody's pants off? I mean,
I
do them now, and he's in his
not my
80s.
type, but I see your point.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
No,
in terms of sexual politics. And
Yeah,
I also know for you ladies out there who are going to admonish me for saying that, you know, sexual assault and aggressive behavior is not always about just getting somebody in the sack. It's about power. It's about a lot of that stuff. But if you look at the pattern of Bill Clinton's philandering, it has not had any whiff of that at all. None. So, you know,
no,
just saying.
They're not moral equals. You know, there's no. Even I wouldn't say
They
that.
are not.
You know.
Yeah, they are not.
Yeah.
So, Platner for you, Platner for me.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting conversation on the 30th. Please come on out.
Wow. Yes.
Can you separate the art from the artist?
Yeah.
And it's going to go beyond. I mean, we sort of set it up as that to speak about, you know, the classic examples. You know, Michael Jackson. Give me some more. Woody Allen.
Yeah.
You know, P. Diddy.
And please be gentle with Woody. He's one of I have almost no idols in my life. Woody's one of them.
I've enjoyed a couple of his films, but in general, his films leave me feeling like I need to go take a shower.
Oh.
As a woman, they leave me feeling like I need to go take a shower.
As a man, it doesn't.
Thus the difference.
Woody.
Vive la difference.
Yeah. When we get into Woody, oh yeah, just let me go. Yeah. Yeah. And
Actually,
my brother, who died in August, Brian and I, Woody, we may not be your two greatest fans in the world, but we're somewhere in the top 100,000, I'm sure. You know, absolutely sure of that.
And on that note.
On that note, yeah, whatever note that is.
So it's an important conversation, though, because we are living in a world where character seems to not mean what it used to mean. And so, you know, take a little bit of time and think about it and maybe have some conversation with your friends and your family and see where you all think about it. And come on out and see us on the 30th. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, à la prochaine.
À tout à l'heure.
I don't know why. I'm going to have to clip this because this, can you see it moving around there? I get it. Try and get it to the, oh, there.